You said that you've been in open relationships since high school. All of your relationships
All
have
of my
been
relationships
open?
have been open, yeah.
Why?
So, okay. Went to high school, fell in love with a guy. He had a lot of like commitment problems and didn't really want to like date around. So, and I knew that he was seeing other people. So I kind of like just had to like learn how to deal with it a little bit.
So wait, hold on. Did you want that relationship, that first relationship?
I wanted that relationship really badly.
Did you want it to be just you and him? If you had been able to make that decision?
I don't think it really came to my mind. It was just more like I just want him. That's it.
Okay.
And then I met another person, or had someone in my class that said that he was doing a polyamorous relationship, and I was like, what is that? And then he explained like, oh, so I'm dating like 2 people at the same time, and my partner is, or one of them is dating multiple people too, and that's just how it is. I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense. Why would you have to? I've never heard that before. Mm-hmm. So it felt more like, oh yeah, I think that's me. It just makes a lot more sense than just being with one person, and especially like when you're very young. Why would you miss out on other opportunities or like grow with other people than just, that's how I saw it.
But you have to know, I mean, you're a very pretty girl. You're sitting in front of me. You're young. I don't know what your fertility looks like, but at 24, it's who knows in this day and age, frankly, because of all the chemical exposures and whatnot. But, it's probably pretty good. You do know on some intellectual level that you could find a man. And nothing against Destiny. I'm not encouraging a breakup. I'm just speaking hypothetically. Mm-hmm. You could find a man that would say to you, I'm here for you. I don't need any of that. Just you do know that exists as an option. Mm-hmm. But you wouldn't choose that.
Because I like to explore with other people. Yeah.
I'm wondering if that sentiment will ever change from you, and if you might,
who knows?
Someone might cross your path. I don't know, or Destiny might.
I think
change.
I'm just a very sexual person, and I like to explore a lot of different areas with it. There's a lot of things that I like.
See, I relate to that.
Yeah.
I'm sexual as well, but I want to do that, and I like to explore and but I want to do it with my man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
let's say, what if he said that he didn't want to do one specific thing, you really wanted to do it? Or are you just not going to live with that experience that you really want to do? Or do you think you would say yes to everything?
I mean, we're on the same page a lot, honestly. Mm-hmm. So I haven't had to encounter that. If I did encounter that, though, I can tell you without a shadow of the doubt, like I would rather have my man, like that intimacy, because it is so special and it's just shared between us. Mm-hmm. That's going to be more valuable to me than any experience I could have with some guy on the side. And if you woke up one day and decided, I don't want to be in an open relationship, I want a family, I want something different. Let's say Destiny was not on board and you mutually agreed to part ways. Mm-hmm. Does it occur to you at all, or do you think about like that if you eventually did want that guy out there who wants to say, Melina, just you're it for me, just us two, that they would look back at your past of having been a little bit more promiscuous and that would be an obstacle for them that they couldn't get past? Do you ever think about that in terms of your future and where you may or may not wind up?
Yeah. I hope to God there's other people like me, like me out there. That's what I'm going to assume. There has to be. There got to be some people that's like me, because my parents are. And I don't know, I come from that sort of background.
I think what scares men about it is, and I talk about this a lot, is women who are, and you're saying you do bring emotion into it. You're saying you're not saying I go and sleep with a whole bunch of guys and there's no emotion involved, which is actually the most interesting.
With some people it is, but I would say it's a lot more fun when you're bonding and you have chemistry, you're doing something. But it doesn't necessarily have to just be like, it's not like romantic. It could be just like a friendship thing. Let's say that I'm doing like.
Then why do you have to sleep with them? I'm curious. If it's just why does it have to? Why does the sex have to be?
Because you get to explore all of them, like in every way. Like, because there are a lot of feelings like around sex. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. But it necessarily doesn't have to be like a romantical or like. It doesn't have to be that way either. So I feel like if you do sleep with someone, you open up like a lot more emotions and you're a lot more comfortable with them because you're showing your vulnerable side to them, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really cool. I think that's a cool thing.
That's what most guys can't get past, though, because there's a lot of guys out there that want what you're talking about, right? That vulnerability that happens in the bedroom, but they want that woman to experience that just with them. They can't swallow that then you're going to go out and that very special connection it will become less special just by virtue of being shared, right? If you're sharing your vulnerability with Destiny and then you're sharing your vulnerability with, say, I'm just going to put a number on it, random number, 5 other guys that month, let's just say, it's not as special. It's not.
I just don't think it might kind of person that goes, I'm going to do the painting thing again. If I paint a painting and I'm painting it in a certain way that I know that this one person is going to love, and I give it to them, but then they find out that I gave another painting to someone else, but it looked completely different and it was a lot more, a different history, does it mean that I don't find any of it special? Because I put so much work and so much emotion into my painting. That's how I view it.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate how you view it, and I'm not telling you not to view it that way. What I'm just trying to, I guess, is be honest about that's not how most men will see it. Is anyone off the table? Like, what if it's an ex of yours? Or what if it's a really good friend?
Like a sibling or something
crazy. Well, that's a bit...
I mean, I feel like that's already, you know...
But what if it's an ex, somebody you dated that you had an emotional connection with? And that person can re-enter your life as well and just...
Like for me or with him?
No, for you. Let's say Destiny's going and hooking up with whoever, and you get a call from whoever, Joe, and you dated Joe in the past. You're not dating him anymore, but you definitely had a connection that was beyond physical with him. Is he able to be cycled through the chain?
Yeah, he doesn't care at all.
Why do you think it is that Destiny doesn't care? That seems very odd to me.
Because I picked him. Like I'm married to Steven, right? Like clearly, like he is the one that I spend most of my time with. So
most guys have a really hard time processing that. First of all, sharing at all, right? They wouldn't. Most guys would not be able to do this. I think you can acknowledge that as well. But most guys, I feel like, you know, when they really like a girl, and I'm not saying he doesn't like you, I'm just saying he operates a little bit differently. But most guys want to kind of claim that person. Like they would be very threatening and very uncomfortable for them to have an ex-boyfriend come back into play. Why do you see how that might be odd for the average person to process that Destiny would be cool with that?
Yeah, sure.
So is there no point at which it becomes it starts to feel fragile? Like, are you not worried at all that Destiny could become emotionally entangled with someone else? So much so that it could end your relationship, or you could meet a guy that all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I never thought this could happen, but here I am.
I feel like if he met someone and just fell for them really hard and then was like about to leave me, he would be an idiot because he would throw away 4 years of relationship. Like why would you do that? Like for someone that you just met, they have no idea what their bad days looks like. You have no idea if they even clean the house. I mean, you have no idea.
But do you think that could happen? Like, do you, in the back of your mind, when he goes off to do these excursions, is that something that you think about?
But also, I think your husband can go to work and meet someone and just talk to them all day.
Well, he could. Right? He can go to work, but he's not.
No. But like for anyone, like I think it could be.
He can.
I think it can happen. Yeah, it can happen anytime.
You can have an affair, of course. You know, a husband can go to work and have an affair, but this is actually, you're aware. Like this is 100% like, okay, I'm going out on Saturday night. You know the terms. You've been made aware.
I kind of view it as this: if someone actually does do that, I think it's more me that dodged a bullet. Because if you really like are giving up 4 years or just a very long relationship where you work things out and you know each other so well for something that you just met, you're probably a little crazy.
So do you believe that feminism has been good for women? Positive for women?
I think it's been good for everyone almost. Okay, but of course, in different areas. It's like, this is also still like we're picking one very vague thing. There's like a million things involved with that one word, right? So of course, I think that we're going, by the time in human history, we're going into a right direction, because there's a lot, like, I don't think that 200 years ago you would be able to sit here and like have a show, right? If it wasn't for like making sure, like, for thinking that women can do things, right?
Do you think it's gone too far the other way? Like, you know, I always acknowledge, you know, women having the right to vote was a very different movement than what you see now, which in my view has really turned into a man-hating movement. There's just so much anti-man, you don't need a man.
Yeah, I don't think that's feminism.
It is the modern feminism.
For some people, yeah, but I don't believe that. I don't think it means equality.
Not what you associate.
It means equality. No, I don't associate with that at all. I think the problem is that we've looked at women and like try to help them for a very long time, that we're just missing out on a lot of things that men have as problems. And I think that's sad. I do 100% believe that. The
goal of the modern feminist movement, well, I'm a conservative, so it's a hard left movement. I think its goal really is to destroy men, to make them increasingly feminized and feel like they're out of place in society, to make them less attractive to women, to make women more masculinized and unhappy and on birth control pills and sleeping around and miserable and on antidepressants and less attracted to men. And ultimately, the family unit is going to be sabotaged by the movement. So I have a very bleak view of feminism. Not to say every person that defines themselves as a feminist, but that is the modern feminist movement.
What I mean when I say that, like, it's getting like there are men that is coming up saying that we have problems too, and maybe it's not expressed in the best way, but it's coming up there. I don't think I saw like 10 years ago that there were men complaining about these things where they feel like they weren't seen. Now there are men that are saying we're not seen. So we're getting there some way. In a weird way we are, because there are people complaining, you know?
I think there are men that feel that they want to have more of a voice and they're suffering in many ways and they want,
and they get told that they can't suffer because they're men. Like, that's, I know, I get